many people about it. I saw the picture of him in his tuxedo. It was so beautiful. I mean, he looks like a wonderful young guy. Would have been a wonderful, just a wonderful guy. I think it's a horrible thing.
Global news 24 hours a day on air and on Quick Take by Bloomberg, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Michael Barr. This is Bloomberg. Nathan.
Okay, Michael, thank you. It is 5:09 on Wall Street in time for the Bloomberg Sports Update. Good morning, John Stashower.
All right, good morning, Nathan. After 2 months of rumors, speculation about how, when, where baseball will look in 2020, we now know at least what MLB wants to do. Owners will meet with the Players Association today. Details of the plan leaked out. An 82-game schedule to start in early July. The DH, even when National League teams play, expanded rosters to 30, expanded playoffs to 14 teams. The Mets and Yankees will play at an empty Citi Field in Yankee Stadium. There will be more Subway Series games, and all the games will be versus other teams in the East, like the Red Sox, Phillies, Nationals, and Orioles. Before baseball returns to the U.S., the Premier League said to be ready to resume play in June in the United Kingdom. Back here, there'll be golf next month, starting in Texas, the Colonial. There's a NASCAR race with empty fans this Sunday in Darlington, South Carolina, but no finish to the American Hockey League season, and the World Baseball Classic for 2021 was postponed. With no live sports, so much attention paid to this ESPN documentary about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Forgive Knicks fans if it's all a painful reminder, and forgive Nick great Patrick Ewing.
I played 17 years, and like you said, 6 years. We played against the Bulls 6 times. We were only able to win one of those times, and unfortunately, he wasn't there. So he's been talking trash from the first day that I met him, and he still continued to talk trash, telling me that I have never beaten him when he counts.
It's on ESPN. The 10-hour documentary ends on Sunday. John Stashower, Bloomberg Sports. Nathan?
All right, John, thanks very much. Ahead of the open on Wall Street, futures moving lower. S&P futures are down 10 points. Dow futures down 85. NASDAQ futures lower by 23 points. Mixed trading in Europe right now. 10 years up, 430 seconds, yield 0.69%. Yield on a 2-year note, 0.17%. You're listening to Bloomberg Daybreak.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Asset managers who seize change to launch new strategies, add distribution channels, or exploit new technology to re-engineer the investor experience are often rewarded. However, in an industry paralyzed with complexity, few act with agility or decisively. Few run their business strategically. Yet, the most competitive managers in the market know, with the right partner and a flexible operating platform, you can. Go boldly toward change with SEI Investment Manager Services.
I'm Steve Meyer, president of SEI's Investment Manager Services. At SEI, we understand the emerging forces that will define success for asset managers and what firms will need to compete tomorrow. That's why we continually optimize SEI's global operating platform. If your business requires greater agility, our advanced technology, integrated best-in-class systems, and multi-asset expertise can be your catalyst for business transformation.
With SEI Investment Manager Services, you lead the charge in a competitive marketplace. Learn more at SEIC.com/seize change.
Business is constantly evolving.
Did somebody say just me? Get delivery like a G. See, hungry dogs gotta eat. I get mines every day, every week. Chicken wings to the crib, I'm sitting in. Burger in the low. Hope they put the pickle in. Wonton on a catamaran. Oodles and noodles, thank you, my man. J-U-S-T-E-A-T. Somebody say, just eat.
Introducing the new single, Impossible. From Central American rock and blues trio, Steady Rolling. Their epic story of love and loss continues. Download and stream the single, Impossible, from the band Steady Rolling, wherever good music lives.
Did you know that players of People's Postcode Lottery have raised over £500 million for charities and good causes? They've also won £63 million in prizes so far this year, and it could be your postcode next. Visit postcodelottery.co.uk/radio before midnight on the 21st of May to play in the June draws. PPL manage lotteries on behalf of good causes 16+. Conditions apply. Play responsibly.
A half-price dream holiday, wouldn't want to miss that. A takeaway for free, wouldn't want to miss that. And 30 gigs data for just £10 a month on Smarty Mobile. You definitely don't want to miss that. Our Smarty SIM comes packed with 30 gigs of data and unlimited calls and texts for just £10 a month on a 1-month plan. That's why Smarty won Best Value SIM-only network in the USwitch Mobile Awards 2020. Don't miss out. Search Smarty Mobile. Smarty. Simple, honest mobile. Smarty.co.uk.
Television. Here's Rishad Salamat.
Let's get over to Dweeful Evans, who's State Street Global Markets Head of Asia Pacific Macro Strategy. Dweeful, tell us during this whole pandemic and at the moment what prism you're looking at the markets through and where are we going?
The prism that we're actually looking through right now is trying to understand maybe what investors are doing, trying to understand where we're seeing the flow of money return. And dare I say, to my very first point, that again looks a very sort of mixed picture. So markets, equity markets have rebounded well, of course, but in the conversations that I have with investors, and certainly some of the metrics that we're seeing at State Street, there is not a great deal of love for this rally, and people are very cautious and very skeptical that if, for example, we see another wave of cases in the pandemic, or if we see much weaker numbers than expected, then a lot of the rally in equities may have been built on sand. And obviously the earnings numbers that have come out recently have suggested that we're some way away from a recovery. So what we're looking at now is we're trying to understand whether there's really any real sort of legs behind this rally in equities in particular. We think there is in certain sectors, but we still think here that caution is a watchword going forward.
Hear more interviews like this one on Bloomberg Television, streaming live on Bloomberg.com and on the Bloomberg mobile app, or check your local cable listings. Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and on Quick Take by Bloomberg. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
And I'm Karen Moscow. European stocks are edging higher, while U.S. stock index futures are slipping, and Asian shares dropped as investors weigh an uptick in coronavirus infections in several nations and signs of fresh trade tension. Oil is rising. We check the markets every 15 minutes throughout the trading day on Bloomberg. S&P futures are down 7 points. Dow futures down 56. NASDAQ futures down 17. The DAX in Germany is little changed, up less than 0.1%. 10-year Treasury of 4/32 yield 0.69%. Yield on the 2-year 0.17%. NYMEX crude oil is up 3% or 72 cents at $24.86 a barrel. COMEX gold is up 0.7% or $11.80 at $17.0980 an ounce. The euro 1.0817 against the dollar. The British pound 1.2336 and the yen 107.52. Today we're looking for reports on small business optimism out at 6 o'clock Wall Street time. At 8:30 it's the Consumer Price Index. And regional Federal Reserve Presidents James Bullard, Loretta Mester, and Patrick Harker all due to speak at events today. That's a Bloomberg Business Flash. Now here's Michael Barr with more on what's going on around the world. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Karen. Coronavirus deaths in the U.S. have passed the 80,000 mark. However, there are signs more states are trying to reopen, including the hardest newest hit state. Bloomberg's John Tucker in New York has more in this live report.
And Michael, in New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo says the state economy is ready to begin reopening, with some regions upstate authorized to do so as soon as this week. Mayor Bill de Blasio says the city's lockdown is likely to continue into June. Citywide hospital admissions have declined, along with intensive care admissions. New York reported 160 new virus deaths. That's the lowest in more than 6 weeks. John Tucker, Bloomberg Daybreak.
Thank you, John. South Korea has reported a spike in new coronavirus cases. Health workers will test thousands of people who visited night spots in Seoul after detecting dozens of infections linked to club goers. Global news 24 hours a day, on air and on Quick Take by Bloomberg, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Michael Barr. This is Bloomberg. Nathan.
Okay, Michael, thank you. We're coming up to 5:20 on Wall Street, live from the Bloomberg Interactive Brokers studios. This is Bloomberg Daybreak, and Christina Hooper's here with us now, Chief Global Market Strategist at Invesco. Good to talk with you this morning, Christina. Of course, we saw the rally in April driven by optimism that more states and countries would reopen. Now starting to see a little bit of pullback in markets. Where do you see things going from here?
My expectation is that we're likely to see some volatility up and down, that there is no straight path up, but I certainly don't see any kind of dramatic drop for stocks either. I think stocks will be dominated on a day-to-day basis by news flow as it relates to the pandemic, from health statistics to developments in therapies and vaccines to news about more potential fiscal stimulus as well as monetary stimulus.
Well, how should investors take the latest news then that we got from President Trump, where he said that, we've been victorious, essentially, when it comes to coronavirus testing?
Well, certainly we've made improvements. There's been significant progress in testing. We need more, for sure. And so as testing increases, I think certainly that will add to confidence. And we can look to South Korea as an example. Yes, there was a spike in infection rates, but it was caught so quickly, and the government is reacting. That's the kind of scenario we'd like to see in the United States. That will create greater confidence for consumers to go out and do things once their local economies have reopened.
Given the way that other countries have responded to the pandemic in relation to the U.S., is now a good time to start looking again at international stocks?
Well, certainly investors should always have some exposure to international stocks. We all need to be well diversified for the long run. Right now, I see opportunities in Asia, EM, and China in particular. Now, this is an area that is largely on the other side of this, certainly experiencing slow recoveries. Some Asian economies really didn't get hit hard. They were able to avoid the brunt of this, and they're in recovery mode. That doesn't mean that it's a dramatic V upward, but we're seeing improvement. So there are opportunities there. They're also benefiting from lower commodity prices. So there's a lot of good things to be said for Asia EM.
What about the rising tensions that we're starting to see again between the U.S. and China? This move just last night to block a government retirement fund from investing in Chinese stocks. Does that pose a headwind more broadly for markets?
Absolutely. I think that's probably the biggest risk for stocks, not necessarily the pandemic, because we have that monetary policy that's created something of a put under stocks when it comes to the slowdown caused by the pandemic. But what is of concern to stocks is renewal of U.S.-China tariff wars. And I do believe that will be a big risk through the end of this year.
Is the put that we're getting on the monetary policy front driven more by anticipation of policy proposals getting put into place, or is it the actual implementation of things like just this latest move from the Fed to buy corporate bond ETFs?
Well, I think it's a combination. It's an understanding that the Fed has bent over backwards thus far in terms of utilizing the tools it has at its disposal to combat what has happened as a result of the pandemic. But it is also an understanding that the Fed stands ready to do whatever it can to support markets and indirectly the economy going forward.
In our last 30 seconds here, given the possibility of more choppiness ahead, where do you find the best chance for opportunity?
Well, I think the best chance for opportunity is in risk assets in general, just given what we've seen in terms of tremendous monetary policy support. If I had to pinpoint areas, I would focus on U.S. large cap, particularly tech and healthcare, the more secular growth areas of the market, as well as opportunities in Asia, EM, and China.
All right, Christina, always good talking with you. Thanks so much. Christina Hooper is Chief Global Market Strategist at Invesco. And just taking a quick snapshot at the markets right now. Futures pointing slightly lower, with S&P futures down about 5.5 points. Dow futures down 46. NASDAQ futures lower by almost 10 points. European stocks mostly higher, with the exception of the CAC in Paris. It's down 0.2%. The DAX in Germany is little change to higher. 10 years up 3/30 seconds, yield 0.70%. 2-year Treasury yield 0.17%. And you are listening to Bloomberg Daybreak.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The early market indicators signal caution among traders, with an uptick in coronavirus infections in several countries and fresh signs of trade tensions between the U.S. and China. Checking overseas markets, European stocks are mixed. Asian markets finished lower today. Yesterday, stocks closed mixed to start the week. The S&P 500 was mainly little changed, rising less than a point. The Dow fell 109. The NASDAQ was up 71. The coronavirus spread at more than twice the national rate in U.S. counties, with major meatpacking plants in the first week after President Donald Trump issued an executive order directing they be reopened. Confirmed COVID-19 cases jumped 40% during the week following the order in counties with major beef or pork slaughterhouses, compared with a 19% rise nationally, according to a Bloomberg News analysis of data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. The meat industry attributes the high infection rates to aggressive testing. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Elite advisory firms rely on BNY Mellon's Pershing to meet the needs of their most complex clients. Karen Novak, Chief Operating Officer at Pershing Advisor Solutions, explains how.
At BNY Mellon's Pershing, we bring customized insights and strategies to help you grow your advisory business and stay on the leading edge. We can support the needs of your most sophisticated clients with a full range of investment and wealth management solutions, from access to private banking to consolidated bank and brokerage custody. Learn why so many of the largest advisory firms turn to us for the financial strength and high-touch service that BNY Mellon's Pershing can provide. Are you well positioned to stand out from your competition?
Learn more at Pershing.com or call 800-445-4467. Brokerage custody provided by Pershing LLC and other services provided by Pershing Advisor Solutions LLC. Both members of FINRA and SIPC. Private banking and bank custody provided by BNY Mellon NA. Member FDIC.
Jenny Liss, Jewish.
Did somebody say just eat? Me, get delivery like a G. See, hungry dogs gotta eat. I get mines every day, every week. Chicken wings to the crib, I'm sitting in. Burger in the low. Hope they put the pickle in. Wonton on a catamaran. Oodles and noodles, thank you, my man. J-U-S-T-E-A-T. Somebody say just eat.
Switch on Acorn TV, the brand new streaming service featuring world-class TV from Britain and beyond. Watch exclusive premieres like the colourful crime drama Queens of Mystery.
Once you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
And fan favourites like Inspector George Gently.
I'm just an old copper doing his job.
If you love drama with a little mystery thrown in, enjoy 30 days free with code ACORN30. Then just $4.99 a month. No adverts, no contract, cancel anytime. Join online today at acorn.tv.
This is a message from the government about the emergency measures to support the economy during the period of disruption caused by the coronavirus. To help you, your business, and your workers affected, you can apply for cash grants, business rate holidays, statutory sick pay relief packages, as well as the coronavirus job retention and self-employment income support schemes. For information, go to gov.uk/business-support now.
Picture in your mind a stylish Audi with striking LED headlights, sporty alloy wheels, and some of our most advanced features, including a 10 cockpit and smart assistant systems like lane departure warning. Picture what that Audi looks like. Now think smaller. The Audi A1. It's not a small car, it's a small Audi. Visit audi.co.uk. Audi. Vorsprung durch Technik.
Get your cook on with Asda. With Butcher Selection quarter pounder beef burgers, get a 4-pack for just £2.28. And salmon fillets, get a 2-pack for only £2.97. So dinner's always a winner. At Asda, we're committed to low prices every day on the quality products you need. Asda. Selected stores and lines subject to availability.
From the Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio in New York, Bloomberg 1130 to Washington, D.C., Bloomberg 99.1 to Boston, Bloomberg 106.1 to San Francisco, Bloomberg 960 to the country, Sirius XM Channel 119, and around the globe, the Bloomberg Business app and BloombergRadio.com. This is Bloomberg Daybreak.
And it's 5:30 on Wall Street. Good morning. I'm Karen Moscow.
And I'm Nathan Hager. Bloomberg Daybreak is brought to you by SEI. Challenges highlight one's character, partnership, and resilience. At SEI, they act as one community with their clients. Go to SEIC.com/banks.
We're just about 4 hours away from the opening of U.S. trading. Let's get you up to date on the news you need to know at this hour. S&P futures are lower this morning as U.S. fatalities from COVID-19 top 80,000. The White House is ramping up efforts to test for the virus as President Trump touts the government's response to the pandemic.
Thanks to the courage of our citizens and our aggressive strategy, hundreds of thousands of lives have been saved.
Data show the U.S. now conducting more than 300,000 coronavirus tests per day.
New York State is laying plans to restart business as soon as this Friday. Bloomberg's John Tucker joins us live with the very latest. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Nathan. Governor Andrew Cuomo is reporting the lowest number of deaths in more than 6 weeks, and that has the state allowing low-risk businesses to resume work May 15th. Starting Friday, all retail will be able to operate using curbside pickup. Construction, landscaping, and other outdoor activity can resume in areas with low hospitalizations and testing measures in place. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Daybreak.
All right, John, thank you. On Capitol Hill, the push for a fourth round of stimulus is gathering steam. House Democrats are crafting a bill that includes more than $2 trillion in funding, and the measure could come up for a vote as soon as Friday.
Well, tensions with China continue to rise over the coronavirus pandemic. Now the White House is taking steps to block U.S. investment in the country. Sources tell us the administration is pushing to stop a government retirement savings plan for moving $50 billion into a fund that includes Chinese equities.
In California, Elon Musk has restarted production at Tesla's car plant despite warnings from county officials. And we get more in the story from Bloomberg's Mark Mills.
The Tesla CEO is doing battle over measures to contain a virus that he downplayed starting in January, after claiming COVID-19 wasn't all that viral a disease, then calling panic about it dumb in March. He's also theorized fatality rates are overstated and wrongly predicted that new cases would be close to zero by the end of April. In a tweet Monday, Musk said, "I will be on the line with everyone else. If anyone is arrested, I ask that it only be me." Mark Mills, Bloomberg Daybreak.
All right, Mark, thank you. S&P futures are down about 5 points. Dow futures down 38. NASDAQ futures down 10. The 10-year Treasury up 3/30 seconds, yield 0.70%. And the yield on the 2-year, 0.17%. The euro, 1.0818 against the dollar. And straight ahead, the latest world and national news. And this is Bloomberg.
All right, Karen, thanks. It's 5:33 on Wall Street, and Michael Barr has more on what's going on around the world. Michael?
Thank you very much, Nathan. While parts of New York State are set to reopen, New York City will remain in lockdown in June. However, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says the downward trend of COVID-19 indicators is a start, but it needs to be consistent. He announced that the 3 main daily indicators, hospitalizations, the percentage of people who have tested positive, and the amount of people who entered the intensive care unit, are down.
This is exactly the kind of day we want to see.
Now let's see if we can stretch a number of these days together, and that'll be the signal that it's time to start talking about relaxing some of these restrictions.
Meanwhile, dozens of children in New York City are being sickened by a mysterious inflammatory illness that doctors say might be connected to COVID-19. New Jersey is one of many states asking for more funding from the federal government, especially for first responders and those on the front lines. Governor Phil Murphy talked about the urgency.
A fiscal disaster is not months away. Hard